Hi my dear students. Today we are going to discuss grade 10 mathematics 2. Okay, let us see the discussion. First question. ABCD is a square shaped thin sheet of which length of a side is 14 centimeter. A semicircular part has removed as shown in the figure. Oh, where's the figure? You see. Oh, still we don't have to see a figure. Oh, this is the figure. Right? According to this figure, then you have to write the answers, but again, I think it's better to read again, no? Right? ABCD is square-shaped thin sheet of which length of a side is 14 centimeter. A semicircular part has removed as shown in the figure. First question, find the arc length of the remaining part. Arc length of the remaining part. Okay, my dear students, the first they are asking the length of the arc. Then you can see the BC arc length, you have to calculate the length of the arc. It's a semicircle. You can see it's a semicircle. Right. Then how to find the length of a semicircle? You know it's a half of 2 pi r. But I think first of all you must better decide the radius of the relevant arc. The radius. The radius according to a square shape, you can see it's a 7 centimeter. Right, or into that, the arc length half into 2 pi r. Then half into 2 pi r, then you recognize that radius, what radius is. And before that, then you can cut 2 to 2. Then 5 r is remaining. Then 5, 22 over 7. And arc length, then the radius, we have shown the radius here. Then you can see radius at the diagram, you look at this figure. Right, then with the radius, then you have to calculate the 5r. Then I can show you that 5r 22 over 7 into 7 because radius is recognized as 7. Then 7 to 7 will be cut is 22 centimeter. The arc length is 22 centimeter. The first answer for the first question is okay, 22 centimeters. Find the perimeter of the remaining thin sheet. The remaining thin sheet consisting of an arc length as well as straight 3 lengths. Therefore, then you have to just add, in addition to this arc length you previously obtained, 22, the 14 plus 14 plus 14. Can you see the perimeter? 22 plus 14 plus 14 plus 14. The 22 plus 42, 3 straight lengths. When you add, 42 can be obtained. 42 plus 22 will be 66 centimeter. What is the thing? The perimeter of the remaining thin sheet. When you need the perimeter, obviously you should have found the arc length too. The arc length. Without arc length, then you cannot go for the perimeter. Right. Okay. Next part. Find the area of the square sheet before removed the semicircular part. Find the area of the square sheet before remove the semicircular part. That means they expect small area of a square. Because before remove the semicircular part at the diagram, then you can remember there was a square. The length of the side of this square was 14 centimeter. According to that, then you have to get length into breadth. It is 14 times 14, or otherwise 14 square. Then your answer is coming 14 times 14 equal to 196 square centimeter. Okay, right. Then consider the next part. Okay, with the diagram, again you can see. If a logo is made by pasting two equal similar shaded remaining parts together for a certain flag design, draw a sketch of such rectangular flag of the above figure and mention the length of the flag design. Right. Somewhat low, no? Question. Right. At these circumstances, then you have to read carefully one by one with the sentences. Okay, a logo is made by pasting two equal similar shaded remaining parts together for a certain flag design. The flag design, the flag is a rectangle especially, but we have a square shape, something removed from that. We have to, of course, use a flag. Then shaded remaining parts together. Then you have to think something beyond what you see, and remaining parts together for a certain flag design. Yes, draw a sketch of such a rectangular flag of the above figure, and mention the length of the flag design. Okay, then somehow then we have to come to that approach. Okay, the one by one, then what will happen? Then you can understand something. Then two equal parts have used for the create this flag. Okay, we see. Yes, the first part we had. Then the same part should be attached to this to create such a flag. Flag is a rectangle. Then what is the side? The opposite side is sweet. Right? 22 centimeters, you can remember we have obtained the length of 22. Yes, this will be a flag. Then this is the design of flag. Right? This is a logo in the flag. Right. Then yes, they ask that to mention the length of the flag. Just 28 centimeter, because you know 14 plus 14 will be 28 centimeter. 28 centimeter, you can see 28 centimeters length of the flag, and 14 is the breadth of the flag, and 22, you know that half curve is the 22 centimeter. That's the answer for this question. Then just you have to do at the exam, right? You are expected to do such a thing, because you repeat it again, then the previous flag. According to that, then you have to add this one, right? You have to draw that, just a sketch, right? On the given diagram itself, you ought to draw this sketch, just a sketch, right? And have the length and breadth and circles like this. Then you will be able to find the total marks. Okay, next part. If it is needed to attach beads along the circular boundary of the composite figure considered in part 4 above, and line 4 centimeters apart when measured along the boundary, find the required number of beads. Oh, it's advanced, it's difficult to understand. That's the reality. The advanced, the normal students, therefore, then you have to carefully pay your attention to what they ask at the question, right? If it is needed to attach beads along the circular boundary, can you remember the circular boundary that had? It was a circular boundary of the composite plane figure. Yes, can remember. In the part 4, yes, part 4 they had. And line 4 centimeters apart when measured along the boundary. That means beads are placed 4 centimeters apart along the boundary, circular boundary. Then they ask, find the required number of beads, right? Then you see the diagram. This is diagram. You know how to find the number of beads along the circle. How to find the number of beads? You know that is 4 into 4. The 4 centimeters apart. Then you have to place beads one by one. Then if you know whole length around the circle, then just you can count the number of beads. Then you know the one half was 22 as previously mentioned. The other half should be same. 22 plus 22 will be 44. Nobody asks you that to get 44. You are the one who should take this answer as 44. This is your determination. Then you have to take that. My dear students, you have to take that. Then 22 and 22 will be 44 centimeters. With this 44 centimeters along this 44 boundary, then you have to place the beads 4 centimeters apart. Then how to find the number of beads? You can easily say that. Then just you have to divide the whole length by 4 centimeter. 44 centimeter divided by 4. You can see 44 divided by 4 is 11 beads. Then we can place 11 beads around the boundary. That's the answer. Easy question. But at the first login, won't be easy. But finally, it was easy. This is the difference in the exam too. Then you have to do such kind of questions carefully by reading enough. Okay, my dear students. We shall consider the next question. Make simple be the subject of the formula. Simple be the subject of the formula. Okay, you can see the formula first. A square equal to B square plus C squared. To make B the subject here, I think B should be taken to the left hand side because you must write an answer for B. B equals something. B equals something. Therefore, I must take somehow the B terms to this side. But if I take only B terms to this side, the other left hand side, that will be minus B square. Troublesome. What should I do? Therefore, I think it's better to rotate through the equal sign. Rotate whole equation. You can see. Yes. Now, by rotating whole equation, yes, I rotated. Now you can see A square equal to B square plus C squared. I took it, B squared plus C squared equal to A squared. Now I have rotated it through equal to make B the subject. My purpose, my target, my aim is going towards B. Until that, then I have to rotate it. Right, somehow I must make B the subject. You must make B the subject. I don't want this C squared. I don't want this C squared. C squared is added to this B squared. Therefore, when I take this C squared to other side, what will happen? Then plus C squared will be minus C squared. Then that's what you have to write. B squared equal A squared minus C squared. And you have to make simple be the subject. To make simple be the subject is easy case. Because you know that square is taken to the other side, normally it is written as square root, the other side, the vice versa side of the square is square root, right? The answer is B equal to square root inside A square minus C square. This is the final answer, right? It's very simple to make B the subject. First you have to rotate the equation, then you have to take the unwanted terms to the other side, and you have to make easily B the subject. That's the process. Okay, next part 2. If simple A equal 26, C equal 10, then find the value of simple B using division method. Using division method, no? At once, how has that division method come? Okay, we see. Oh no, we can recall again the formula we have made subject already. The B equal, it was A squared minus C squared. Can you remember A squared minus C squared the previous time? Then instead of A, we have substituted that 26 squared. That's what we have to substitute. And C, 10 squared. And we have to find out the value of B using division method. You don't get upset when you see such a thing called division method, decimal places to the nearest 2 decimal places. You don't worry about that. First, you have to do with the first step. That's the next step. Like that. Then you have to follow the process involved to that. Right. Then B equal to 26 square minus 10 square. Right. Anybody can say 26 square. You can multiply. 26 times 26. 676. And 10 square. Anybody knows? 100. Then when you subtract 100 from 676, you know, no doubt, 576 square root and B. Then what's your answer? Right, here. Can you see? Right, 576. Then at once it's difficult, maybe difficult to say. If you don't know the value of 576 as 24, that's 24. But if you don't know, then how can I calculate that square root of 576? Then also they have told, even though we know exact answer of this question, we cannot write that answer at once. We have to follow the relevant process because they are deliberately asked the using division method, called using division method. Then that's what we are going to do. Then according to division method, then you have to separate the number with a comma. Then 5 and 76, there are 2 separations. According to 2 separations, 2 digits will have for the answer. First part 5, next part 76. Okay, we see. You know, 2 times 2, 4. 2 times 2, 4. Then approximate square number should be close to that. Then we cannot take 3 times 3 because it exceeds the 5. Then we cannot exceed the limits. Then 4 is the approximated close number to 5, square number especially. Then 1 will be remain. Can see. Then soon after remainder comes, then you have to download that 76 down. Yes, whenever such a 176 has come, then you have to follow the process according to your knowledge. I think you have a certain knowledge enough. Then 2 times is coming for the digit so far already obtained. That is 2 times 2 will be 4 to this place. Then 4 and a space. Remember, my dear students, that's only 4, not 44. Right? Then 4 and 4. That 4 should be inserted to this place. Then 44 times 4 will be complete. That's an easy question. That's why we have done that at once. Right? Then you can see 176. Right? Then complete. I think when you subtract, no more answers, 0. Then what's your answer? 24, as I earlier mentioned. 24 is the answer for the B. Right, 24. Right? That's how. Easy question. Okay, we shall consider the next question. Hence, deduce the value of root 5.76. Deduce. You have to deduce the value. Then just you have to determine. Then 5.76, square root of 5.76. Having the previous answer as 576 equal to 24. Square root 574 equal to 24. Then how to get square root of 5.76? Okay, then you have to just compare with the previous answer and what will be happen to next. Like, then what is your answer? What will be your decision? Deduce. Yes, that's what we previously obtained. The square root of 576, 24. With respect to this, then you have to just guess some value to 5.76. You know 576, but you have 5.76. 5.76, but 576. Then how to get? You just think to have such a 2 decimal places to question. Then to get a square number, then you have to multiply a number by the number itself. But to have such 2 decimal places, that number you selected for initially should have 1 decimal place. Therefore, but 576, knowing 576 at 224, then what may have happened to that? That may be 2.4, no, 2.4. Then if just imagine 2.4 into 2.4, yes, of course, there are 2 decimal places, my dear students. 2.4 into 2.4, 2 decimal places. Therefore, then when you multiply back 2.4 into 2.4, that will be then 24 into 24, 576. You have to keep 2 decimal places at the end. Therefore, then there are 2 decimal places at the question itself. Then therefore, you have to guess the answer this time. That's why they have given us to deduce. Therefore, your answer will be 2.4. Okay, you see, right, 2.4. You have to just do a deduce. Okay, 2.4 square we have, so that 2.4 square, 2.4 into 2.4, you know how to get 2.4 into 2.4, 576, and you have to have 2 decimal places like this. Then according to that, vice versa, you have to think 5.76 square root will be the 2.4, first root 2.4. Okay, next question. Question number 2, part B, first part. Find the first approximation of root 7. You know, first approximation, what first approximation is? When you need to get a value to the first approximation, there must be a 1 decimal place to the answer. Okay, root 7. Root 7 is a non-square number. We don't know square root of non-square numbers usually. Somehow you have to find an approximation, the number close to 7, the square root 7, but then we have to use a strategy. Therefore, then this is the method. Then we have to learn that carefully, because when you need to get the square root 7, square root 8, square root 6, then you have to find 2 square neighbors for the answer. 2 square neighbors for the given value. With respect to 7, 2 square neighbors are 4 and 9 at the either sides. 4 and 9 is square neighbors, square numbers, 4 and 9. Then root 7, okay. Yes, root 7 is lied between root 4 and root 9, we can say. It's totally correct, root 4 and root 9. Because what we know, root 4 answer 2, root 3, root 9 answer 3. But root 7 answer, don't know. Therefore, then we have to just guess the answers. That is called approximation, close value. Then square root 4 given 2, square root 9 given 3, but square root 7 given none. But how to get the answer? By imagine something that then you have to ask from the 7, then who is close to 7, who is close to 7, who is associated close to 7. I think between 4 and 7 there's a gap called 3. Between 7 and 9 I think gap 7, 8, 9, right? There's a 2 units gap, but an 8 is only there. Therefore the answer should be close to 3 other than 2, I think. Therefore the mid value between 2 and 3, 2.5. But we cannot approach 2.5. Then since 2.5, you have to go until you have a value approximated to root 7, value approximated to 7. Then vice versa, then if you get the square root of that, definitely answer will be the root 7. Right. Therefore, then we have to write down from the 2.5 onwards. Yes, 2.6 square is obtained. 2.6 square, you know how to get 2.6 into 2.6, 6.76. But when I check about 6.76, then I have to see whether root 7 has come. Whether 7 has come? Not, but approximately, so somewhat okay, 6.76, then of course it's okay, but I don't know whether it's okay totally. Therefore, we have to go for another. Therefore, then 2.7, okay, we'll see. 2.7 square, 7.29. Oh, wow. This also somewhat close. What is the number which is more close to 7? This is the approximation. You approximate. What is the much close number to 7 out of 6.76 and 7.29? That 7.29 has gone passing 29 parts from the 7. But this 6.76 is behind, I think, 24 parts. 24 parts, because 76, from 76 to 7, there are 24 more parts to complete the 7. But in case of 7.29, it has passed 29 parts. Who is more close? The most close number is the 2.6. Therefore, square root 7 is 2.6. No doubt. Then why says if square root is squared, 2.6 is if we squared, then definitely answer is 6.76. Not at 7 at all. We cannot get 7. Then approximated value for the 7 is 6.76. That's why instead of root 7, we get the answer of 6.76 square root as approximation. Then root 7 is 2.6 according to the first approximation. Okay. Prove your answer using division method to the nearest first decimal place. We have to prove the answer we obtained earlier, right? There's another thing, no? We have to prove the answer what we obtained again. We proved that, and then again we have to prove. This is the type of the question papers. Then we have to face the problems that they have given. Then we have to write out. Prove your answer using division method. You know the division method. Then you have to use the division until you get the 2.6 to the nearest first decimal place. Okay. Without getting scared, then you have to, I think, start. That's the better. 7.0000. Because we have to get at least 2 decimal place to before round off to the nearest first decimal place, because they expect their answer, our answer, to the nearest first decimal place, my dear students. But to get first decimal place before that, we must have at least 2 decimal place before the round off. That's why we have separated this 7 until 3 part separation. Then 7.00 and again 00. Okay, the division mark. Above the dot, you have to keep the dot. The separation first. And 7 is the number left, and double zeros are the numbers separated to right hand side. Until 7, then up to 7, what is the most close square number? Square number is 4. Then 2 times 2 will be given the 4. You know the remainder. Remainder is 3. Then immediately you have to take down the double zeros. Then 300 is a number. When you have such a number, you have to multiply by the 2. That 2 times 2 will be 4, and with the space, and two spaces equally and two numbers equally. Two spaces equally, two numbers equally. You must remember, okay? That's the process of the getting the division method of getting square root, okay? Then what's a suitable number to get 300 or approximate number to 300? Then if I get 41, 1 here, here must be 1. Then 41 times 41 not enough to 300, no? Unfair. Then you have to get 42 times 2, 84. Not enough. Then what is the number? Then you 1 by 1, you have to check. That's the way of the division method. 6 was the suitable number. Then 1 by 1 you have to check, okay? Right? Be calm and check 1 by 1. That is maths. You have to do, right? Without maths, you can't do anything. And 46 into 6. 46 into 6, you know, you have to multiply 6 times 6, 36 and 3, 6 times 4, 24 and 3, 27. 276. You have to multiply. You know how to multiply, right? Okay, now you have to subtract the value 24 and you have to take down the other two next zeros. 2400. Immediately you have to get the number by double the 26. You have to double the 26, 52. Yes, it's a space and a space over there. Two spaces equally, two numbers equally. Two spaces equally, two numbers equally, right? And what is the most suitable number until 2400? 4. Because 500 times 4 is 2000. No? If I get 500 times 5, it's not enough that we exceed the value. Therefore, it is 524 times 4. 524 times 4 is 2096. Right. Then root 7 is 2.64 to the nearest second decimal place, but we have to limit the answer to the first decimal place. Then you have to round off. By rounding off, then you have to just remove the 4. 4 is a low digit, therefore no 1 is added to the previous number. Answer is 2.6. Okay, you just check the number we obtained for the root 7 in the previous question, 2.6 according to approximation method, and as well as the division method also giving 2.6 to the nearest first decimal place. Okay, today we are going to continue the remaining part. So far we have discussed for the grade 10 Maths 2. So we are going to discuss the other remaining valuable question for you again. Let us see the discussion. Dishan won a lottery and 1/6 of it was kept for religious activities. 3/5 of the remainder was given to his family. Then half of the remainder was deposited in a bank account. Oh, too many things have done. Then one by one you have to comprehend. Dishan won a lottery and 1/6 of it was kept for religious activities. 1/6 out of the total for the religious. Okay. 3/5 of the remained. 3/5 of the remained. Remained, what do you mean by remained? When we have separated 1/6 for religious or any other thing, the other part is a remainder. Remainder is the 5/6. Please, there's a point. Everybody must pay attention. If you wish to do a fraction question like this at the exam, then you have to hear what I clearly explained here. If we have separate 1/6 for any purpose, the remaining was the 5/6. If we have kept 2/5 for a purpose, then remainder is 3/5. Then it's a small thing. Then you have to say the opposite thing. The students who can say the opposite things can do this problem. Right? Don't neglect what I say now. Right? Then if we have separate 1/6, then 5/6. If we have separate 2/7, then 5/7. If we have separate 3/10, then 7/10. 7/10. That's the thing. Then that won't be given. You are the one who should understand this thing. Okay, right, I explained that. Okay, without starting this question, I explained more and more. I think you may have heard that. Okay, religious activities, and 3/5 of the remainder was given to his family. Okay, you see, first question, write the remaining fraction after giving for religious activities. After giving for religious activities, that's what I explained that. Explain now. If we have separate 1/6, the remaining is 5/6. You see the diagram before giving the answer, the 1/6 for the religious activities. Once again, diagram. We have draw a diagram. The first one, 1/6 for the religious activities. 3/5 of the 3/5, as given in the question, you can see 3/5 of the remainder was given to his family. 3/5 of the remainder. Remainder is the 5/6, 5/6, 5/6. Can you see? Right. The next, if we have separate 3/5 for the family, then what's happened to 2/5 other? Then you have to ask that. Nobody asks this. You must think. 2/5 for the remainder. 2/5 of the remainder. Out of the remainder is those remaining part. No, 5/6. The balance. There's the balance. Then you can see balance. Right? 3/5 and 2/5. 3/5 and 2/5. The whole thing. 5/5. The 3/5 out of the 5/6 and 2/5 out of the 5/6. Right. Then I am going to give the answer for the first question. Write the remaining fraction. After giving for the religious activities. You know, 1 minus 1/6. It's 1 minus 1/6. 1 minus 1/6 will be 6/6 minus 1/6. 5/6. You know, 5/6 is easy question. Right. Then you have to just say the 5/6 as answer. Right. Second part. Show that the fraction of amount that he deposited in the bank is equal to the amount he kept for religious activities. We have to show that the fraction of amount that he deposited in the bank is equal to the fraction kept for the religious activities. Then you have to find out the two relevant fractions for the both purposes. You know what the balance is. The balance was the 2/5 of the 5/6 as mentioned in the previous diagram. Then you have to continue from that. Then balance, we have to calculate the balance. Then we have taken that two fractions, 2/5 out of 5/6. Then 5 to 5 can be cancelled. Then 2 to 6. Here you can have the answer like 3, because 2 to 2 times 1 and 6 to 2 times 3. 3 is at the denominator and 1 was there in the numerator, 1/3. That whole part is 1/3. The total balance was the 1/3 by spending religious activities and for the family. Well, 1/3 is the final balance. Out of this final balance, then we have to deposit half of this amount. Then balance was the 1/3. From this 1/3, then we have to do anything. From the 1/3, we have to divide into equal two parts, half, 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 half. Then you can see for the bank, the half for the 1/3, half out of the 1/3, and for remainder, the final remainder again half, because half is the 1, the total 1, half of the 1/3, half of the 1/3 for the bank. Then the totally 1 times 1, 1, and 2 times 3, 6. According to fraction knowledge, 1/6 for the bank and 1/6 for the remainder, 1/6 for the bank and 1/6 for the remainder, final remainder. Now you can understand the 1/6. Lot of times we obtain the answer called 1/6. I think that is the thing they expect from the question. Okay, fraction of amount deposited. You know, fraction of amount deposited, it's 1/6. This is 1/6. We earlier obtained that. You know, also fraction kept for religious activities, we got that 1/6 here. Religious activities, because you know the bank and religious activities deposited is the 1/6 here, and religious activities earlier we obtained 1/6. Both answers same, therefore equal amounts. This is the answer. If he has 75,000 rupees as a remainder in his hand, find the winning amount of the lottery. If he has 75,000 as a remainder in his hand, find the winning amount of the lottery. 75,000 remaining in his hand. By giving for many purposes, the something has remained in his hand. amount of 75,000 especially. Thus, what's the fraction relevant to that 75,000? You mustn't forget. You are in a lesson called fraction. When you are in a lesson called fraction, you must find out the relevant fraction according to that given data. The given data is 75,000, meaning his final remained in his hand. You must remember the remaining fraction according to that. It was 16. You can remember 16 remain, bang and remain, the bang and remain, the previous diagram. The 16 is the relevant fraction for this. This was 75,000 as an amount. Then we have to find the winning amount. If this small 75,000 become 1/6 of the total winning amount, when they ask the winning amount or total amount, then you have to get the whole fraction. Whole fraction is 6/6. Then what about 6/6? Then you have to calculate 6/6. You have to take down that 75,000. And if this 1/6 becomes 75,000, what is about 6/6? Then that's what, then you have to calculate. If this 1/6 belongs to 75,000, what is 6/6? Now 6 to 6 can cut. You know that answer will be 75,000 into 6. The 75,000 into 6 is the 450,000. You can just multiply by the 0, 6 times 0, 6 times 0, 0, 0, zeros, and 6 times 5, 33 is remaining, and 6 times 7, 42, and 3, 45. That is 450,000 rupees. This is the winning amount of the lottery. Right? It's an easy question, but you have to somehow try. Then when you are following more questions, more and more, then you will be able to do this kind of fractions question. Especially you must remember, when you are in a lesson called fraction, you must follow the fractions. You must always find the fraction relevant to the given data. Okay, my dear students, then you have to go into the next question. Question number 4. ABCD is a rectangle shown as in the figure. I can't show a figure. Okay, we'll see. Oh, figure is coming. Right, can you see? ABCD, 2x, 3x. 2x and 3x. 2x, 3x means breadth and length. ABCD is a rectangle shown as the figure. If DC produced to 2 cm to E, DC produced to 2 cm to E, and DA produced to 1 cm to F, draw the new rectangle that can be illustrated. There is a construction. Then as they told, then we have to do, if DC produced to 2 cm, then how to find out the value? If DC produced to 2 cm, okay, looking at the diagram, you can see DC produced to 2 cm, you have to drag this DC. And DA produced to 1 cm, DA. From D to A, you have to produce it, extend the line. Right, okay, we'll see. Right, the first diagram. Yes, I produced 2 cm to E. Yes, then as well as I am doing, then you have to draw on your answer sheet. Right, the breadth 1 cm. Right, A to F as they told, 1 cm you have to mention, and complete rectangle. Right, this is the new rectangle that can be illustrated. Right, is there mathematics problems? I don't think so, but these kind of questions are always given. Right, especially for some kind of term test. Right, then you have to always pay your attention these kind of questions, because for the term test this is much valid. Find the length and breadth of the new rectangle in terms of x. Then in terms of simple etc., then you have to find the length and the breadth as well. Right, it's easy, I think, according to the previous diagram. When you're looking at the previous diagram, you can easily say the length and breadth. Now you can say 3x plus 2, 3x plus 2, 3x and 2, 3x plus 2, and 2x plus 1. Here, length is 3x plus 2, breadth is 2x plus 1. No doubt. Obtain an expression for the area of the rectangle and simplify. Obtain an expression for the area of the rectangle and simplify. To get the area of a rectangle, you know, basically you have to follow the length into breadth. Then area is given by length into breadth. You know length was 3x plus 2, breadth is 2x plus 1. Then one by one you have to remove the brackets because you have to simplify this answer. 3x plus 2 into 2x plus 1. How to simplify? One by one you have to remove the brackets because you know the first two persons, by the first two terms, by the first two numbers you have to remove the second bracket. Then first person is 3x, first term is 3x. By the 3x you have to multiply 2x plus 1. By the plus 2 you have to multiply same 2x plus 1. Then you have to do the simplification and removation, right? 3x into 2x, you know 3x into 2x, 3 times 2 6, and x into x squared. Then 6x squared, and 3x into 1, you know 3x into 1, 3x, and 2 into 2, 4x, 2 into 1, 2. This is the bracket removation. Finally, then you have to simplify the like terms because 6x squared and 3x and 4x. With 3x and 4x, you can see the like terms. 3x and 4x are the like terms. Therefore, it's given 7x, 7x plus 2. Furthermore, x squared and x, looking at 2, they are unlike terms because we cannot simplify x with the x squared. You must remember we cannot simplify x with the x squared because they are unlike terms. Right. Continue to the next question. Question number 4. Prove your answer in 3 is accurate using your new diagram of the rectangle considering as 4 regions. Rectangle considering as 4 regions. Right. Once again, we have to prove the same thing by using any other method. The method is you have to consider 4 regions of the given new rectangle. Okay, you can see. There are 4 small rectangles inside the rectangle according to what I see. Can you see? Then area number 1, 4 regions now. Area number 2. A1 means area number 1. A2 means area number 2. You must remember that shouldn't be new for your things because A1, you have own right as studentships, then you have own right to notate like this: A1, A2, A3, A4, T1, T2, T3, T4 when you need, right? You don't get upset to get writing like this. Then you have to understand and follow the methods. Then we are showing as A1, A2, area number 3 can be shortened as A3, area number 4, A4, right? Then we have to find out the total area considering 1 by 1. Then there are 4 regions according to the diagram. Then first area number 1, area number 2, area number 3, and area number 4. You can see area of A1. You know the region belong to A1. Area of A1, 3x into 2x. 3x into 2x, you know 6x squared. Area number 2, you know area of A2. A2, you look at the diagram. A2, you can see, I will show you A2. That is 2 times 2x because the breadth is 2x. 2x into 2, you know, 4x. And area number 3, you know, the breadth is 1 and length is 3x because this 3x is the 3x. 1 times 3x is 3x. And area of the 4th area, you know, is 1 into 2 because breadth is 1, the length is 2. Along this line you can see this length is 2. Then 2 into 1 is 2. You can see that. Then total area, to get the total area you have to add those 4, A1, A2, A3, A4 together. Okay, this is the total area. 6x squared plus 4x plus 3x plus 2. There are 2 like terms. 4x and 3x, 7x, then 6 squared plus 7x plus 2 is the answer. We can remember this is the answer we obtained earlier, of course. Right. The next question. Find the perimeter of the shaded region. Oh, this is the diagram. According to this diagram, you have to find the perimeter. Right. Perimeter of the shaded region. Now you shouldn't complicate with the regions given. Shaded region. Shaded region. Look at this shaded region. at this shaded region, then you have to go along this shaded figure. Then arc length, you have to go arc length as well as straight length. You can see straight length. Then through the pointer, then I will show you. Right, x1 is a straight length, x2 is the curved length. Right, now can you see x1 is the straight length, x2 is the curved length. Once again, you looking at the shaded region, you must first comprehend the two lengths, otherwise you cannot complete the answer. Then x1 is straight length around the shaded region, x2 is the curved length. Right, now somehow we have to find out the two lengths x1 and x2 as well. Okay, what is the easy one? Because to get the x1 is a straight length in a right angle triangle given, and x2 is an arc length. Then one by one, then we have to calculate x1 and x2 all together. Then we can see, to find out x1, we have got a decision to find out the value of x1 using Pythagoras relationship, you know. Then x1 squared equals 7 squared plus 7 squared, you know, because 7 and 7 are the two adjacent sides of the right angle triangle. x1 is the hypotenuse. Then you know the x1 squared equals 7 squared plus 7 squared. Then 7 squared, 49, you know, 98, x1 squared. To get the x1, you have to get the square root 98. But at this circumstance, we can find out root 98 because root 98 is not a square number. Then you have to use any other optional method to get the square root 98. Then that's what we are going to do here. The square root 98, you can see. Then I am showing that through my finger. Then you can see root 98, square root 98. You know that 98, the dot over dot, then you have to keep the same dot. And 9 times 9 will be because square number to 98, it is 81. Right, now you have to subtract. The subtraction was 17. Immediately you have to take it down, double zeros, 1700. And you know, when you have such a remainder, you have to double the number at front. Then you know 2 times 9 is 18, should come to this place. And 2 spaces like this. And you have to fill the spaces. 8 times 8, that is 188 times 8. You have to read 188 times 8, it is 1504. The answer is coming like, then with the remainder 19,600. To the 19,600 once again, then you have to go. Then you know how to get this 196 because you have to double the number at in front 98 into 2, 196, and 2 spaces. You know, the same process. Then you have to put same numbers to get 19,600 approximated number. Then 9 is a suitable number. Then 1,969 into 9 is 17,721. That is, I think, very enough. 9.89 up to 2 decimal places at least we have obtained the answer. The next one, the length of x1, the straight length is 9.89 centimeter. Right. Not only that, in addition to this length, we have to find to arc length. Okay. We are still in the perimeter question. We have already obtained the length of arc 9.89. x1 we have mentioned at the diagram. You have to get the answers, follow the answer. Whatever obtained, you have to follow the answer. In the diagram itself, you have to follow the answer. You must do this. Then otherwise, that you can miss this answer you obtain. Then with respect to that, then you have to find the x2 too. Right, to get the x2, then it's an arc. To get the arc length in a sector like this, you know, that's 1/4 of 2 pi r. To get the x2, it's x2 length 1/4 of 2 pi r. To get 1/4 of 2 pi r, then you have to just substitute and cut 1/4, 2, you know, instead of this 5, 22/7, and radius, you know, the radius of the sector 7, and you can cut easily 7 to 7, and 2 to 4, you know, 2, and 22 by 2, it is 11, the one and only answer, 1 times 11. 1 times 11 is 11. And we have to, of course, find the perimeter. We are in a perimeter question. The perimeter is the two lengths, arc length and straight length. You have to add the two lengths. We obtain perimeter of the shaded region, x1 plus x2, 9.89 plus 11. It is 20.89 centimeter. Find the value of square root 3721. Find the value of square root 3721. Right, easy question. You know how to follow this one, because first you have to separate the number 3721, 2 by 2 we have to separate. Then I have separated that number in the division format. Yes, the close square number to 37 is 36. To get 36, you cannot use 36 at once. You have to write down 6 times 6. 6 times 6 is 36. 1 is remaining. 21 is taken down. And immediately, you have to double the number. The whatever you have written up, you have to double. When you have a remainder like this, you must remember, right? Once again, we are telling, then 2 times 6, 12. 12 and leaving a space, you have to complete this space until you have 121 no approximate value. Then if you get 1 here, you have to keep 1. This is red. 121 times 1. 121 times 1 is 121. So, okay. Then what is the answer? 61. You can see 61. 61 is the square root of 3721. Okay, consider the next question. Simplify. Oh, do you feel something complex? Dear students, I'm asking from you. Is it something somewhat complex? I don't feel. Okay, you see one by one. There are 3 square root signs. That's why you are getting upset. But one by one, if we check, there's nothing to be upset, because 50,625 square root plus square root of 4,096 and whole square root. How should I start? How will I start this? Then we have to get 50,625 square root and 4,096 square root and addition again square root. Just think, will you know? Then are you unable to get 50,625 square root? Are you unable to get 4,096 square root? You can. As you know somehow, then you have to go for the division method and follow the answer. Okay, let us try. Yes, I have separated the 50,625 into 3 separated parts. Then division. Then answer will have 3 digits, because there are 3 separation parts, right? First 5. What is the first approximation number? 4. Square number is 4. 2 times 2. Then what's the remainder? 1. You have to take it down, 0, 6. And you have to multiply the 2 by 2. You know, 2 times 2, you have to double the number. 2 times 2 is 4. And leave in spaces. 2 times 2. The 2 times 2, what's the reason for 2 times 2? Because 42 times 2 will enough to 106. 42 times 2 is the 84. Right? Then what's the gap? 22. And soon you have to get 25 down. Right? Then whenever 2,225 is there, then you have to get the double of the number at the top. 2 times 22 will be 44. With a space, then you have to fill the space. Then until that 2,225, the most suitable number is 5, because 445 times 5 will be given the number expected. Then what is your answer? Easy question, 225. Now you have already obtained one part of that, the 225 for the answer for the 50,625. The next one, 4,096. Right, square root. Same process. 40 and 96 as well. 42 approximated square number. What the approximate square number 40? You know 36. 36 can be written as 6 times 6. Yes, 36. The gap is 4. The 96 is down. Yes, 196. You have to double the number at the top. 2 times 6, 12. And leave in spaces. Then you have to fill the spaces until you have 496. Then 124 into 4 will be enough to 496. You multiply. Then 4 times 124 will be 496. That is the end of the problem. That 64 is the answer for the 4096 square root. Then you can substitute instead of those two parts having the main square root at the main question. The main square root at the top, and you know the square roots of the two sub parts of the question given. Then 225 and 64 we have obtained and proved. Now you have to add the two numbers, two values. Is 289 square root. 289 square root. If you don't know, then you have to do. Okay, then same process. Then until you have 17, then you have to do. Then 2. 1 times 1, 1. And 1 is remain. 89. You know, same process. Right? Then you have to double the number immediate. 2 and leave its spaces. 7. 27 times 7 will be enough to 189. Then what is your answer? 17. The 17 is the answer for the complex question you first see. At the first look in, everybody will say that's a maybe complex number. Not a complex one. One by one you have to do, not a complex one. Right? Okay. Now we shall continue to the next question. It's a fraction question. There are 5 fractions to simplify. How to start this one? My dear students, plus, division, minus, of. Plus, division, minus, of. There's an order. According to that order, then you have to start this question. You shouldn't start from the front, from the back, from the mid. Then you have to start according to the system. The system is the bottommost. Then you have to check whether there is a bracket, then not bracket. Then off, yes, certainly off. There is a off, therefore, then you have to do the problems from the off part. Then off part you have to start the question. Otherwise, until that, then other fractions have to be weighted. Then you can see it is half into 3 seconds because of is a multiplication. Then 3 over 8 as well as 5 over 8 and divided by 1/4 cannot do anything. Then they are waiting. 3 over 8, 5 over 8, division 1/4 are waiting. Then what can you do? 1 times 3 is 3, 2 times 2 is 4. Then after completing that off part, then you have to follow the order, bottommost, bracket, off, then division. The division is at the mid place, right, between 5 over 8 and 1 over 4. Then you can see a division. Then this is the part where you have to simplify. Otherwise, you cannot simplify 3 over 8 or 3 over 4. Then you have to simplify, start the simplification, 5 over 8 and 1 over 4, according to division, bottommost, right? You know what will happen, because 5 over 8 doesn't change. As a result of getting division as a multiplication, you know totally that is written the reciprocal, the number. Then 1/4 will be 4 over 1 and other numbers as well. You know how to cut. Between 4 and 8 you can cut. There are 4 multiples to 8. Then 5 over 2. Right? You can see 3 over 8 plus 5 over 2 and 3 over 4. Right? Then we have simplified these 5 fractions up to 3 fractions. Then there's only plus, minus. The question something having plus, minus, you have to start with the LCM. You know totally the LCM of 8 to 4. 8 to 4 LCM is 8. You know how to get that. Right, 8 is the LCM. Considering that LCM, lowest common multiple, then you have to count the number of multiples for the 8. Now 8 to 8 multiples, 8 to 8 multiples, that is 1 into 3, 3. And 8 to 2 multiples, 5. 4 times 5 is 20. And you know also 8 to 4 multiples 2, 2 into 3 is 6. You know how to simplify further, because 3 and 20, 23. When you subtract 6 from 23, 17 over 8, 17 over 8 is a improper fraction. Then you have to simplify up to until a mixed number 17 to 8 multiples 2, 1 is remaining out of 8. The final answer is 2 and 1, 8. Part B of the fifth question. Simplify x plus y squared. There's nothing to simplify. That should be known. For grade 11, grade 10 students, you must know that then x plus y squared, the value of x plus y squared, x plus y squared is x squared plus 2xy plus y squared. You know that because there are 3 terms by expanding x plus y square, binomial expansions. According to binomial, a plus b square, you must remember a plus b square, a square plus 2ab plus b square. There are 3 terms. But you will say, when you have a question like a plus b square, a square plus b square, it's totally wrong. A plus b square should be a square plus 2ab plus b square. Like this, then x plus y square, x squared plus 2xy plus y squared. You shouldn't write only x squared and y squared. You must remember to have the midterm. The midterm is twice of xy. This is the missing term for a lot of students. 2xy. Okay, this is the complete answer for the first question. First question is totally easy. Second one. Hence, find the value of x squared plus y squared when x plus y equal to 5 and xy equal to 6. X plus y equal to 5 and xy equal to 6. Right, there are 2 data because x plus y equal to 5 and xy equal to 6. Then from which part should I start the question, because there are 2 data, x plus y, xy. Okay, at the question they expect the x squared plus y squared to have such x squared terms, then we have connection of having squares. Therefore, first data can be used. I think x plus y equal 5 is the better data to use, because if I have x plus y equal 5, definitely we could have squared both sides, because by having squares of both sides, then we can certainly have x squared and y squared, what they expect. Then x squared plus y squared. X squared plus 2xy plus y squared, because earlier we obtained x plus y squared, we know how to expand. X squared plus 2xy plus y squared equal 25. Then also there's xy term. I don't want xy because they have provided xy as 6. You can see xy is 6. This is 6. Then if this xy 6, then you have to just substitute value xy for the 6 for the xy. This is 2 into xy. 2 into 6. 2 into 6 will be 12. You can see 12. 12 plus y squared equal 25. With the value of x squared plus y squared, s squared plus y squared, then you have to just take plus 12 to other side. Plus 12 to other side will be minus 12. S squared plus y squared, 25 minus 12, it is 13. Now you have totally obtained the expression x squared plus y squared equal to 13. Right? At the beginning of this question, may be somewhat complicated, but you have to choose a suitable data. X plus y equal to 5, the both side has been squared, and the first expression you have to follow, and 25, and xy substitution. Xy is 6, 2 times 6, 2 times 6 is 12. The plus 12 to taken to the other side, the minus 12, and 12 from 25 was 13. Therefore, x squared plus y squared was 13. Okay, after this fifth question, we have discussed all the questions successfully. I think we have offered a successful discussion for you. Right, we are hoping to offer another discussion from the next month like this. Okay, until that, we have to wind up this program for today. Right, then we are going to say goodbye.